What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand. And today we are talking about to niche or not to niche. Now, I feel like probably 3 to 5 years ago, all the gurus were saying niche, 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 niche. Find your niche. If you don't find your niche, you're failing. If you don't find your niche, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna find the right audience. If you don't find your niche, no one's gonna like you, basically. And I've even talked about finding your niche and how important it is. And now we have gotten to this point where niching is not the end all be all. It is not the only way that you can grow as a content creator. And I, in fact, think that it is something that, if it works for you, great, but it can be kind of put on the back burner because niching can make you feel like you're just stuck. It can cause you to get burnt out really quickly, and it can cause you to get really bored with what you're creating because you feel like you're just saying the same thing over and over and over again. Now, when it comes to my content, when I first started my channel, I was a little bit all over the place, and I kind of liked it that way. I think that I was sharing just my journey as I was growing into an entrepreneur, starting this business from the ground up, and it worked. And I didn't ever feel the need to, when a video popped off, for me to like just hyper niche into that one specific type of content. And that's a mistake that a lot of creators make. And that gets you pinned into a niche. When one video pops off, you just go head first deep into doing everything about that topic. And it's very, very tempting because people are gonna keep watching. However, I never really did that, which is why I feel like my channel, I won't say it's growing slowly, but it's just kind of consistently grown over the years. It hasn't really been, since maybe my first year, I haven't had like just a supercharged year where I've grown like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And that is because I create what I want to create, what I feel like is good for me and keeps me creatively stimulated, and also is a resource for you guys or just fun to watch. And that is when I was like, you know what? I don't think I ever really niched, although you could consider my channel to have a focal point. I don't think I've ever like head first niched into a specific category. So what I want to get into is sharing about how some of those content creators that you know and love, like Tabitha Brown, like Christy Sarah, like Keith Lee, like Jackie Aina even, how they have what seems to pivoted or create very general content, even Kev on Stage, like people who are super successful content creators who have not necessarily niched into one specific category. Now, you may be thinking, yes, they did, Erin. Keith Lee is a food critic. Tabitha Brown is a vegan, and all her videos are about being vegan. Jackie Aina is a beauty girl. Yes, this is true, and that's why I want to introduce this concept that I've been teaching lately called layering. Now, niching is when you have a niche. I'll put a diagram on the screen. You have a niche up top, which could be your general category. So maybe that's beauty. And then you have a sub niche that maybe is skincare. You have another sub niche that's acne prone skincare. And maybe another sub niche that's Black women with acne prone skincare issues, maybe. So like that's like a super, super specific niche. And the thing about niching is that it's going to, one, go through waves. So we probably about 10 years ago, we saw the beauty influencer wave have an extreme surge. And all the time when there's a super surge like that, you see things coming back down. Then about 5 years ago, we saw the surge of all the marketing gurus, all the social media gurus. We saw a huge uptick in that. And at some point, that starts to go down. Now we're seeing a huge uptick in the content creators who are just being themselves, sharing normal life, and making a mint off of it. And that is also kind of where a lot of people now who are getting into content creating want to be. You're like, I just want to show my life. I want to create stuff that's fun. I don't want to feel pinned into a niche, but I also want to build a community. And that is why I think layering is such a cool concept. So basically, layering flips niching upside down. And You start with the foundational layer and then you go up and you add layers as you go. The foundational layer is going to be the thing that you want to represent your content the most. This is the thing you want to be most known for. So the thing about this too with layering, it doesn't have to be a thing. Like it doesn't have to be beauty or tech or marketing. Your foundational layer can be a feeling, it can be a theme, it can be a world, like a global, mission. It can be your life's mission. It doesn't have to be like a thing. So it could be finding joy or spreading joy or sustainability or minimalism or something like that, like, or healthy lifestyle. Like it can be something very thematic. And this foundational layer is the most important layer because you want this to infiltrate into all of the layers above it. So if it is sustainability, maybe you share how you thrift all the time, and that's your fashion layer, you're thrifting and you're, making clothes, like you have a sewing machine maybe and you're making some of your clothes, and you're showing fashion sustainably. Maybe when you're grocery shopping, you're taking your reusable grocery bags. You're not using the little plastic bags in the grocery store. You are sharing how you have an electric vehicle, and so you have all of these different layers, and you have this life that in the foundation, that is one of your missions, is to live a sustainable lifestyle. And you could do this with anything. Like even for me, being an entrepreneur, like entrepreneur life is kind of my foundational layer, where everything above it, I'm showing how that has come from either me having my business or how it's a product of my business. So for example, my marriage is my second layer. And like me and my husband run the business together. So we're always talking about how he helps me run the business, how he's setting up all the gear. And we also just like to show marriage through the lens of like young people and having fun. Like we don't like when people make marriage seem like it's just this not fun thing. And then on top of that could be fashion. Like you keep building it based on who you are. And that's the key with layering properly. You want your layers to make sense and you want them to all flow together. And that's another issue that I feel like a lot of people who want to create but not niche, like you don't want to pin yourself into a niche, but you also feel like you have a lot going on and you don't know how to make it all make sense. That is the issue with not niching. So when it comes to layering, you really want to make sure that the way you pick your layers is actually representative of who you are and the type of content you want to create. I am going to be teaching a live webinar called Ditch Your Niche, and it is going to be focused primarily on layering, how to make multiple topics and niches or categories of content all flow really well together. So if you are somebody who feels like you're multidimensional and you also feel like the people who are watching are multidimensional and you don't want them to get tired of seeing you talk about the same thing over and over again, or you don't want them to outgrow your content because maybe they have applied everything that you shared and now you're like, I don't know what the next step should be. You want to learn how to create content that feels dynamic and it feels fun and entertaining to watch, and you want it to make sense with the direction that your life is also going in, then I highly recommend you sign up for this live webinar. I will leave all of the information down below. It's going to be so much fun. We're taking very simple concepts and making them doable for you. This is also not going to be one of those webinars where I am extremely upselling you throughout the entire thing. If you came to my last webinar on Instagram marketing with a small audience, then you know that that is not me. Like I am doing this to just help you guys out. There will be a small part at the end where I share about the Creator College, but other than that, the entire thing is geared toward helping you guys. That's why I don't do webinars that often, because I just want to make sure that they're serving you and they feel right for me as well. So That is coming up later in the month, so please make sure you grab your seat because I'm sure it's gonna fill up pretty quickly. The last one, we had over 600 people register. So I love you guys. I hope to see you in the live webinar, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.